You gotta earn it. Work, work, work. This is why you hire a guy to do all your dirty work for you.
Oh, only happy to serve you. So hey guys, welcome to my video. Tonight I'm going to go over the purchase of a new firearm. I'm thinking about buying another deer rifle. As you know, I've been taking my nephew Kason hunting with me, and he's been wanting to graduate to a deer rifle. I have several deer rifles that he could use, but I don't think they're suitable. I don't think he has the experience to use a complex rifle. But here I have 3 rifles that I never regretted buying, and they're good rifles. And I just wanted to go over, in case you're in the market for a rifle, I'd go over these 3 rifles with you, and I'm working through it myself and trying to decide what's best. So I want to go through these 3 rifles. These are rifles that I've owned for a long time, and talk about them for a minute, and just kind of rehash some experiences that I've had with all 3 of these rifles. Again, these are guns that I'll never sell. These are guns that I'll never trade. They're with me for the duration. I love these 3 rifles, and these are 3 rifles that I never regretted buying. So the first one I'll show you is my Marlin 30-30. I bought this Marlin 30-30 when I was in my early 20s. And I bought it off the used gun rack at a gun shop called Ammo, Tobacco, and Firearms. I think I paid $130 for this rifle. And I went to the bargain store, bought a scope for it. I think Rose's had scopes along with their fishing tackle, right? And I bought a Bushnell scope for $35 and had Weaver mounts and mounted that scope on this rifle. And I hunted with this rifle for a lot of years. I ran dogs in the Ocala National Forest. We dog hunted, and I killed a couple of deer in front of dogs with this rifle, and that's what this rifle is really good for. This is a quick action rifle. Of course, it's a lever action. Marlin, I think the model is a 336 Marlin, and it's a great gun. I'll never stop hunting with this rifle. I still hunt with this rifle today. But there are a few things about this rifle that are not really good qualities. And number one is the trigger's heavy. It's very heavy trigger pull. And again, it's a 30-30, and it doesn't have a whole lot of reach. It'll go out there, but the bullet drops considerably after 100 yards. And when you put the scope on the rifle, and of course you need a scope, you're going to be hunting in Florida because deer here have antler restrictions, and you're allowed 3 points or better on one side. Well, if there's a deer standing in the cover, you can't count points, right? There's too many limbs in the way. If you got a scope, you'll be able to possibly see whether or not that deer is legal. So you put a scope on a Marlin 30-30, next thing you know, you can't pull the hammer back because the hammer is being impeded by the scope. So you have to add this little side attachment, which makes it a lefty rifle, which is good for me because I shoot left-handed. But if you were right-handed, it would be a problem. You'd have to get a right-handed attachment, an extension for the hammer. But I got that extension on there, and it works real well for me. So I like this rifle. This is a good rifle. I've killed my fair share of deer with it, and but I don't think it's suitable for Kason. Again, because it's a small gun and he's a big guy. But it has no sling. I don't want to put a sling on it because, again, it's just lever action. You can put a sling on this rifle if you wanted to. There's a plug right here to pull the plug out and put a swivel on it, and then there's a clamp that goes around the magazine up here. But again, I never put a sling on this rifle because, again, it's a lever action and it might get in the way. So, but I love this old gun. I've killed some deer with it. I got a lot of memories with this gun. You know what's really strange about guns and deer hunting and gun ownership, especially experiences in the wild, that you grow an attachment to a firearm. It'll become a part of you, and you become a part of it, I suppose. There'll be stories that this old gun could tell if it could talk, but it can't. And only two know about the stories is you and the rifle. So I kind of get a little sentimental when it comes to my firearms. I think about the deer that I killed with it and the times that I've had with it, and it has a whole lot of sentimental value, and it's hard to put a price tag on that. So that's my 30-30. I never regretted buying that gun. I always will enjoy having it. Now, when I started going to Georgia, my friend invited me up to his place to go to Georgia deer hunting. I felt like I needed to step up, so I bought and I like old guns. I don't really like new guns, and I don't like composite stocks or plastic stocks. I like good traditional firearms. But I bought this Ruger. I think it's a Mark 1, and it's chambered in 30-06, and it's a very nice gun. And I killed that deer with it. I killed that deer with it, and I killed that deer with it. And it's a great gun, and I love this rifle. If the rifle has an issue, why I will not let Kaysen hunt with this rifle is because the safety, it's got a safety on here that's called a tang safety, which means you can access the safety from the right side or the left side of the gun. But it's become soft. It doesn't have that crisp feel to it. It's a little bit scary to me to let someone hunt with this rifle and have to tell them, now you got to watch the safety and be careful. No, if that's the case, you just don't hunt with the gun. So I'm going to be taking this rifle to a gunsmith and seeing if he can tighten up the safety on that on this rifle. The last gunsmith I talked to down at the gun shop told me that there's a spring underneath there. There's a ball bearing that rides on top of that spring. It's quite possible the spring has become weak over time. So it's borderline, okay? I could hunt with it, you know, but it sure comes off safety awful easy. See how it pops off safety real easy. So I never walk to my stand with a loaded gun if I'm with someone. Maybe if I'm by myself, I'll walk with a loaded gun. But when I'm with somebody, I never do. But that's still no reason to hunt with a gun that the safety is questionable. Now, one thing this rifle does have, it has a very crisp trigger pull. The trigger pull on this rifle is very crisp and very light, and it helps the accuracy when you're shooting out to long ranges. So yeah, I love this gun. Killed a lot of deer with it. I never regretted buying this rifle. This is a Mark 1 Ruger M77. Is what this is, and it's a great rifle. And last but not least is my Remington Model 7. I've hunted with several Remingtons, and this is by far my favorite. I had a rifle that I bought when I was younger. It was an automatic, a Remington automatic. I think it was a 742. I wasn't real happy with that gun. It was an automatic rifle, and it had a dust cover that covered over the bolt where the bullet ejected and the action worked. And that dust cover never fully covered the bolt. You'd have to push it up with your hand to make it all. And then the dirt got in there and dust. And I'm not real careful with my hunting gear, you know. So it got dirty, and then the gun would jam, and it wouldn't cycle properly every time. So I traded it in. I've traded in a lot of guns. I also had a Ruger carbine automatic rifle chambered in 44 Magnum. And back when I was a kid, you know, 44 Magnums were real popular. You thought you could kill anything with a 44 Magnum. But it's my opinion that a 44 Magnum in a rifle does not make a good deer gun, okay? They don't have very much reach. They lose a lot of energy out, you know, past 50, 60 yards. That bullet really drops. So that was not a wise choice for a deer rifle. So if you're looking to make a wise choice, I would look at these bolt guns with good, crisp trigger pulls. And of course, the safety, check the safety and make sure that it's compatible with what you're wanting in a rifle. This safety is a good safety. It allows you to load and unload the gun with the safety on, where this Ruger does not. You have to take the safety off. to open the action, which I don't have a problem with, but someone else might. It's a feature that's not on that gun. This rifle here, you can open the action and unload it with the safety on, okay? One of the issues I have with this safety is it's a good crisp safety, and you can look at it and tell that the thing is on safety, but if you push it forward, it goes click, okay? I do something that I call feather the safety. If I'm sitting in my tree stand and I see a deer I want to shoot, and maybe he's on high alert, maybe he's picked up my wind and he knows something's wrong, and he's stopped and he's just standing there. Every little sound might trigger him to bound off and ruin my opportunity. So you need to learn to feather your safety and don't let it go click, okay? This rifle is notorious for having a safety that goes click. And a safety that goes click in the quiet woods, man, can sound like a gun going off, and that deer will be gone. I'm aware of that. I don't have a problem with it, but if I let my nephew use it and he pushed that safety forward to shoot a deer and it went click, well, it could ruin his opportunities. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to allow myself the opportunity to buy a new rifle before time slips away on me. I don't know how much hunting years I have left, but I think I probably got 15 or 20, maybe, hopefully. I got 15 more years anyway. And I'm going to buy one more deer rifle. I think I'm going to purchase a Browning X-Bolt. And my nephew, who is coming up and wants to hunt with a deer rifle rather than a shotgun, I've been letting him hunt with a shotgun. And he's proved himself with a shotgun, and he can work a shotgun, and he knows all the ins and outs of a shotgun. So maybe it's time for him to graduate to a rifle. But I'm not comfortable with him using any of these rifles, and I don't have any rifle in the gun safe that I'm comfortable with him using. So I'm going to purchase another gun. I thought about maybe just giving it to him, but when I was 15 years old, going on 16, nobody gave me an $800 rifle. So, Kason, I'm not going to give you the rifle. What I am going to do is I'm either going to let you hunt with this one, or I'm going to let you hunt with the Browning. Okay, I'm going to get a Browning X-Bolt. I'm going to put it on layaway. And I'm going to get a good scope for it. All of these are good scopes. I've got this scope on this rifle is a Leupold. This one is a high-end Tasco. And this one is a Redfield. Okay, all of these scopes are good scopes. Spend as much money on you as you can on a scope. It'll pay big dividends in the end. This rifle is my go-to rifle for hunting in Florida. It's chambered in 7mm 08. I'm going to purchase my Browning X-Bolt, same cartridge as this one in a 7mm 08. The 30-30 is a great cartridge. When you buy a rifle, think about the cartridge. This is a 30-06, and it's very popular. And I like the 30-06. It has a lot of reach. It has a little drop, but it retains a lot of energy out to 200, 300, 400 yards. If you know how to shoot at 400 yards, that's a great gun. This rifle here doesn't have as much drop. I like that, but usually it's not the cartridge that kills the deer. It's shot placement. So you need to practice shot placement, know where the vitals are on a deer, and know where the kill zone is on a deer, and make a good ethical shot. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get that Browning in 7mm 08. I'm gonna fit it with a good scope. Now scopes come in all different brands, all different sizes, all different verticals. The difference between a $200 scope and an $800 scope is about that much. Okay. Buy what you want, buy what you can afford, but this is a $200 scope, this is a $200 scope, I think this is a $300 scope. I kind of bought what they had that I liked when I bought the rifle, so that's what ended up on this gun. I'm not a big scope connoisseur, but I'll tell you that I do firmly believe that the difference between a $200 scope and an $800 scope is like the flip of a coin, okay? So same with binoculars. I got these binoculars here I'm going to show you. These are Start with this set. This is my Vortex Crossfire. I paid $149 for these. I was going out to Wyoming to go elk hunting, and I couldn't find my Nikons. If you're going to go elk hunting in Wyoming, you need a good pair of binoculars. I love to glass. I glass for hours and hours and hours, right? So I went and I bought this pair of binoculars at Rural King. And I'm glad I did. These are great binoculars, but again, they were like $149, $140. And these are like $89. And I can't tell the difference in these two. These are great binoculars, and these are good ones too. But more importantly, I can't tell the difference between these and 5, 6, 7, 800. I've had some Pentex binoculars. I had a pair of Pentex binoculars I paid a lot of money for. And those stupid things, I dropped them out of the tree stand, and they busted right in two. I sent them back, and they charged me to fix them, and which is fair. But the quality and the ability to see is the same, in my opinion. So be careful what you spend is the moral of the story, okay? And when you're buying binoculars. But I love it when I'm up in Ocala or maybe down in the Green Swamp, and I can find a spot where I can see a long way and just sit and glass. I love to pastime glassing. A lot of times I'll be in my tree stand and I'll just get bored, and I'll get down out of my tree stand and I'll go get my lawn chair and go sit on a chop somewhere, someplace where I can sit up high and look down into a chop, a medium chop, one that's, you know, high enough where the deer feels comfortable moving through it, but low enough where you can still see. Man, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of foxes and turkeys moving through those chops, and again, they're grown chops. But black bears, man, I love to watch black bears and coyotes. I see all those sort of things, and foxes, and it's just a great experience to be able to sit and glass. That's why I like binoculars. That's why you need to invest in a good pair of binoculars. And who knows, man, you're sitting up there, you might see a buck of a lifetime. So those are my rifles. I bought rifles in the past that were not good, wise choices. If you are looking to buy one rifle to carry you through a lifetime of hunting, I would buy a bolt action gun with the scope and something that would have lots of reach, something that would shoot well through cover, like the 30-06. 7mm 08, not so much. 30-30 is even better if you're going to shoot through cover. But yeah, this is a great gun, and I'd never sell it or trade it in, but I wouldn't take it any place where I could see 200, 300 yards and maybe make a shot on a deer. I don't know that I could kill a deer at 200 yards with this rifle. The bullet just has too much of a drop, and it's a great gun. Okay, every gun has its pros and every gun has its cons, right? So that's the story. So that's it. I'm going to be getting a new deer rifle, and when I do, I will show you my process for setting it up. We're going to go out on the range. I think I'll probably take casing out. We'll shoot it and get it sighted in, and get ready for this deer season. Real excited about doing it. All right, so that's today's video, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye.